Name is Chris Kutan, head of media and sports solutions here at AWS. Going to be talking about this offering that we are building together with Salesforce. And I have with me
Stan Scholl. I am a principal solutions engineer on the Media Cloud team over at Salesforce.
Many leading companies, whether they are a media company, a retail company, or a health fitness company, are embracing direct-to-consumer models, primarily leaning in on video-based subscription services to deliver and augment their products, services, and experiences. However, building and scaling a video streaming service while attracting diverse audiences and retaining them remains one of the most complex challenges they still face. To simplify the complexities of building and growing a streaming video subscription service, Salesforce and AWS bring together a new direct-to-consumer offering combining their best-in-class capabilities across subscriber lifecycle management and video streaming experiences. In this video, let's see how the combined Salesforce AWS offering drives growth for a fictitious direct-to-consumer video streaming service, Peach Plus TV. Peach Plus is powered by AWS and their partners, providing content discovery, metadata, and video streaming operations. Using Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Peach Plus targets Adia as a high-value customer as part of an acquisition campaign. As she lands on Peach Plus, Adia is presented with the personalized recommendations based on her browsing behavior and cold start options powered by AWS and Salesforce. She loves Peach Plus already and is hooked. She signs up for Peach Plus through a simple registration process and keys in relevant preferences, taking her first step converting from being a casual browser to a subscriber. Peach Plus now knows who Adia is and provides a personalized content catalog powered by AWS AI and machine learning capabilities. As she checks out trailers and synopsis of various shows, Peach Plus recommends the movie Frontier 47, a sci-fi adventure to watch. Noticing that the movie is part of a subscription package, she goes ahead and subscribes. Adia purchases the Play Movies package powered by Salesforce Media Cloud. Peach Plus in the background has already mapped the right piece of content from AWS to the right subscription package on Salesforce. As part of the subscriber onboarding journey, Peach Plus recommends additional packages for Adia that match her preferences and content viewing interests. With a simple click, Adia adds Play Movies package to the shopping cart. She sets up her subscription plan with the credit card. As soon as she confirms the package purchase, Salesforce triggers content entitlement on the AWS side. Now that Adia is fully onboarded to Peach Plus, she can now start watching her favorite movies and shows. Over the course of her subscription with Peach Plus, Adia's interactions are captured in Salesforce CDP to drive personalized content recommendations via AWS and subscriber experiences via Salesforce. Adia notices there is the ability to watch live events on Peach Plus and decides to join the live event. With a simple click, she buys the live event package powered by Salesforce Media Cloud. With innovative interactive experiences offered by AWS and their partners, Adia can choose multi-camera angles and even embedded chat functions on Peach Plus to enjoy the event. She continues to enjoy Peach Plus as Salesforce and AWS keep her engaged through personalized content recommendations, marketing activations, and special offers to drive loyalty and retention. With the AWS Salesforce combined offering, Peach Plus can set up the right foundation to improve revenues, increase viewership and retention, deliver new content experiences, and reduce operational costs. Please visit the blog to learn more about the combined Salesforce AWS video streaming subscription offer.
Salesforce and AWS have been partners for a while, but in June of 2021, we actually announced an expansive partnership, basically to take both platforms, best of breed, and combine them into solutions. And we're talking about one of the solutions today. Salesforce tends to be on the commercial side, wrapping services around the consumer and the customer and servicing the customer. And then Salesforce, obviously, best breed infrastructure. So everything from managing your data, managing your content, streaming that out. And the idea behind this was to come out with partnerships where we leverage both best of breed clouds to come up with fantastic solutions for customers. Now, we're going to talk about the direct-to-consumer experience here. And we can go ahead and jump to the next slide. And let's talk about the direct-to-consumer companies and the opportunities and challenges we see. So the first thing we see is really the innovation we're seeing in the space. So we're seeing all new versions of ways to monetize. How do you actually monetize the eyeballs that are out there, especially with streaming services? And Salesforce has many ways to do that, to actually go ahead and capture it so you maximize customer lifetime value and also customer retention. The next level we're talking about is how you increase your customers out there. How do you increase the subscriptions you have, and how do you retain them. So the goal here is, how do I reach out to the customers that I already have, as well as talk to the customers we want to acquire. And then once we acquire them, how do you actually service them? How do you do things like churn management, watching behavior to decide this person might be leaving, and how do we keep them there? How do we look at offers to make sure that you monetize that customer? And that offer could be some form of an advertising that you're serving up. It could be a piece of content, or it could be increasing the actual subscription value that you have.
Yeah, and obviously absolutely key is to retain customers and to also entice customers to join the offering is obviously to deliver new and innovative content experiences. And also to have a platform to enable the building of new content experience, and also to kind of react quickly on trends that are coming when it comes to content experience. So that's content experience. I mean, anything from the Super Bowl, obviously, like from very high events, from very, very big live events, high profile events, all the way to interactive experiences that create like a one-to-one experience with the audience that then can interact and consume the service in the way they want. So it's absolutely key to have a very robust platform that enables you to build those, and obviously also deliver those experiences. And then also the last thing, and definitely not the least important, is the expansion to global, or like to other audiences, to new audiences, basically. Don't have to be global, can also be some regional expansion. We talk a lot with customers, as you can imagine, as AWS, who are going into new markets, who see opportunities outside of their kind of initial markets where the offer initially was targeted at. So go quickly into where the opportunity arises and have a platform that actually scales with you into those markets, and also have prescriptive help and support and whatever is needed to like set up the systems in a way that, okay, I have multi-million audiences in these other regions, so let's go there without the service having any failures or having problems. So that's really key, what's on the mind of direct-to-consumer customers and streaming customers. So before we go deeper into how the combination of Salesforce and AWS is actually enabling and helping customers to kind of tackle those challenges that I mentioned, let's very briefly step back and quickly discuss through what a direct consumer model is and why it's so crucial what we are doing here together as a partnership. The key thing about direct to consumer, and most probably everybody here knows that, I just want to say it, is that getting direct to consumer, to the data, to the interactions of the consumer, and to the feedback, gaining the feedback from the consumer about my offering. So you have an offering, you have the content, you have the consumer engaging with that content. So you identify the consumer or the viewer, and on the other side, through that identification and then the viewer kind of interacting with the content, you're creating a lot of data that helps you then again feed in a better way what the audience likes to show, likes to see, and likes to watch. It also helps you to inform your marketing activities, what kind of audiences are specifically interested in your offering, in your content, where those audiences are, and go back out and get those audiences in. It also helps you identify, hey, there has been problems, for example, with the content. Let me make sure that they don't leave the service. Or you can see, hey, there's not that much interaction going on with this audience or with this specific viewer. Let's offer them churn offers and so forth. So the key thing is, as I'm directly with the audience, directly with the consumer, I can learn those things and can act on those pointers and information. On a bigger cycle, that kind of data and interaction obviously can inform things like rights management, what windows do I purchase that, do I license that content for, what regions do I want that content for, all the way to greenlighting and getting pointers in that direction. And then obviously can also help me with testing new features, do A/B testing in certain regions. Let's see how this innovation, that feature works, and let's test it out. Again, because I'm directly with the audience, I can see that interaction right away and act on it.
So let's actually dive in a little deeper and talk about the services on both ends. So in terms of the streaming subscription offering, we have really two parts to it. So on the Salesforce side, we have Media Cloud and the subscriber lifecycle management. And so that's the ability to acquire customers, register the customers, manage what they own, allow them to change what they own. Behind the scenes, and this is core to Salesforce as a CRM product, is customer service. How do you service the customers? And this is omni-channel. Service them at every endpoint. So it could be automated bots, it could be customer service reps on the end, whatever you need to do to track what interactions you have directly with the customer itself too. On the customer acquisition retention side, you're talking about a CDP. You're talking about understanding how to talk to the customer, how to gather information about it, and that'll generate things like market segmentation that you can use later for either advertising or for the content you want to provide them, or the personal preferences that you're going to show them. And then on the other end is the intelligence behind it. So you're collecting this information, you want to use it to decide, are they likely to churn? Are they not? What triggers are being played in terms of your churn management? And that's really specific to each customer. And then the other side of the picture is, how do we leverage that to actually increase customer lifetime value? What can we use in terms of intelligence to put the right offers or right content in front of the customer at the right time?
Yeah, and talking about content, obviously the content needs to be delivered. So this is on the AWS platform that is there to deliver content around the world already. So from all the way from the Super Bowl and like massive huge events to like the biggest concert, the biggest pay concerts in the or the biggest pay events in the world, all the way to like hundreds and a lot of streaming services, D2C offers that are all powered by the AWS media stack. So that's integrated into this offer. What's really important is also the telemetry data. So really, how is the audience interacting with the content every moment, right? So first, we're going to go into that a little bit further, understanding exactly what the content is, and then how they're interacting with. Are they checking out the stars that are happening at this one moment? Is there buffering happening? Is there are they abandoning it at a certain point in the offering, and so forth? All that information goes back into the Salesforce offering, and like we can derive actions from that. Interactive experiences are super important, and we talk with a lot of customers about that. Still a little bit out there, but it's really enabling that interactions on an interactive level, right? So we think about like a Twitch-like experience, for example, right? And then you can put in, polls. You can put in a chat. You can monitor the chat, obviously. What is resonating? How is the sentiment in the chat? Things like that. So that you can really get the audience much closer to the audience. Then you have the customer engagement. We talked about that already. And then we have intelligent operation. I already touched on that already. Customer engagement is really around personalization of that experience, right? So again, you understand what the content is. How's the audience reacting to that? You keep feeding the content that's most relevant for the specific viewer. And then intelligent operations is what I mentioned already when it comes to telemetry data, streaming, buffering, things like that. Hey, there might have been a problem. Back to Salesforce through the Service Cloud. How can we mitigate an issue there before it becomes a bigger issue? Things like that, right? So that's kind of the other side of the offering.
So let's take a look at the bottom-up approach. So we'll start off at the customer profile and work our way up. And and on the Salesforce side, Salesforce as a CRM is really best of breed in terms of capturing customer information, being able to manage that customer, and being able to work with it. And you have outreach, you have a CDP, so a customer data platform, where you're actually collecting information about the customer and driving that into what we traditionally know as segmentation. And that can be used on the advertising side to actually do targeting, or on the content side to actually know how do I actually want to present the right content, as well as augmented insight. So insight into the customer, and then we talk about personalization, but we're capturing personalized information as well too, so that we can derive information beyond the actual segment itself. What does this particular customer need versus how do they fit into the actual segment itself? Moving one layer up to the content side, this is where AWS really comes into play. So the ability to manage your content, and that could be everything from transcoding all the way to storing your content, to actually streaming it out and managing how that stream content is appropriately pushed out based on the connection you have, workflow management systems to actually manage that content itself, but full best of breed abilities with the AWS applications. As you move up, you start to get more information about the customer. So you're getting information about the customer from the content they're watching, as well as the places they're watching. You're getting your touch points. So things that they like, things that they don't like. And you can get that by behaviors. For example, somebody watches a video and stops watching it after 2 minutes. You have an idea of that. Are they binge watching? Are they watching a series and binging, and how often they're binging it in? So a lot of behavioral activities that you're capturing. And then churn prediction, different elements to decide whether a customer might or might not be churning. And that can come from some simple things like credit card tracking, is it going to expire, all the way to we've watched their behavior change and they're not watching as much of a given show, or they're not watching many of the series that we're putting up in front of them. How do we actually change that to keep the customer around, increase the customer lifetime value, especially today with with people having the ability to switch very easily from one service to another. And then on the activation side, how do we actually go ahead and pull customers in from the marketing side? And Marketing Cloud is a perfect example of that. How do we actually put out promotions to acquire it, everywhere from social media to direct marketing? How do we get activation from that and collect that data? And then how do you go ahead and service that with them? How do we actually speak to that customer when they have an issue, or also when you want to actually engage with them? And then on the AWS side, obviously there's intelligence involved. So we're driving that data also into an AI engine, and that AI engine is driving content recommendations. It's also looking for personalization. And then you have things like A/B or multivariate testing too. And that could be anything from workflows, and maybe it'd be a customer onboarding, and you can try different few ways to make sure that you actually get the customer signed on, to actually using A/B testing for the right type of content to actually see what's sticky and what isn't sticky. And then all the way at the top level, we're talking about obviously the money. How do we monetize that? And on the Salesforce side, we have the ability to actually deal with many new pricing models, bundling. How do you switch from one platform to another, from one actually package to another? How do you deal with order activation? So actually a person signing onto a pay-per-view, or maybe a live shopping screen. How do you actually go ahead and connect that order to the downstream systems, and then bill the customer so you want to get paid for it? And then in turn, we're actually talking on the AWS side with entitlements. So if somebody pays for a movie, give them the right to actually see it. Make sure that you're authenticated. Make sure that authentication syncs between both systems are all in check. In terms of advertising, do we want to serve an ad up? So maybe it's a pre-roll or post-roll that we want to serve up. Contextually, that information's in there. And then rights management. And that could be geo-rights management, as well as rights management in terms of content that you're going to acquire as well too.
Yeah, so let's bring it a little bit more alive. So as we discussed through the platform and how these things are working together, let me go through a consumer journey that we support with Salesforce and the AWS offering. So as you can see here, obviously in color coded, you see which kind of part of the offering is really focusing on delivering that experience. It's a lot of overlap, not overlap, but like a lot of integration here. But just to make it a little bit more obvious. So the one side you see the discovery and search phase. So this could be already somebody starting to interact, non-authenticated user starting to interact with the offering, exploring the offering, but already getting kind of personalized and at least localized content that might be interesting for the specific person, even so we don't know everything about the person and don't have like a long history. So there's like a cold start algorithm helping here to like what could the person be interested in to obviously get the person then to the next phase, to the subscriber onboarding, right? So I don't need to go through all those things, but like you, as you saw in the demo video, there's the whole registration and authentication process, and also as part of that process, as you can see, there's the various, for example, the kind of individualized and variable offers that like Salesforce can offer here of like what bundles, what product bundles the person, for example, wants to sign up, but then also payment methods are supported, various credit card ways or like various payment ways, basically offering up various packages and to make that sign up process smooth and easy. As the person is then signed up and enjoying the offer, it goes like really the video streaming and the telemetry and also the click streaming kind of feeding back kicks interaction. And I think beside all the other things we're talking about here, this is really important that is fed back into a common area so that like we can learn from how the user is interacting and with the content, and that feeds again the algorithms of making this more personalized and so forth. So that's absolutely crucial, and that we see a lot of customers, even very sophisticated customers, that are still struggling with that integration, right? And that integration is really a key thing of what we're doing here together with Salesforce. Again, bringing this clickstream in, but also bringing in the right ads at the right time, bringing in contextual ads. We mentioned it before, making the ad relevant to the context, for example, even to the content at some point. And then the interactivity is obviously something that, like we, as already mentioned, we hear a lot of people talk about, or like customers ask us about, how do we go about this? It's fully in the same frame of what I said just before. The closer you get to the customer, the more you enable this interactive interaction of the customer with the offering, the more you learn about it. So these interactive chats, trivia, calls to actions, stats, even e-commerce is being offered to the specific audience, like in that customer journey, and she can interact with it as she pleases, and we learn from that, and obviously also can generate revenues through various commercialization models like e-commerce. And then we already mentioned a couple of times is the support, right? So an experience I recently had with one of those offers was that I had buffering at the beginning of the movie, and like the first 20 seconds and everything was fine. When I went back to my email after the movie, I had already forgotten about it. I got a discount code for like 20% off. Sorry for the buffering, whatever, right? So again, this is like I'm like, oh yeah, that's nice. I'm not gonna mention the service. It had to do something with us, but okay. I was very positively surprised, right? Anyway, so this is the kind of consumer journey. Let's see what enables that journey, what technology.
So on the Salesforce side, we view the entire ecosystem over at Salesforce from a customer's perspective, so a customer 360 perspective. And here are some of the elements that sit behind it. So Media Cloud, which really powers our subscription lifecycle management solution. So the ability to productize it, to capture customer information, and then go ahead and monetize it to the customer itself. Wrapping around that, we have Service Cloud, which is really how do we manage the customer from a service perspective. And this is omni-channel. Lots of different touch points to how you speak to the customer, from chat all the way to bots to actually having screens and workflows for your customer support teams. Marketing Cloud itself, to go ahead and reach out to the customers, to engage them and bring them in, to speak to new customers and bring them into. And then on terms of the subscriber onboarding and management side, we also have Integration Cloud and Slack, which are tools to go ahead and allow your teams to communicate. And then on the analytics side, once we collect this information, how do we actually use it? And churn management is a perfect example, and the ability to upsell and cross-sell as well too. And it's not siloed. So this is something that we do share information with Amazon, and then let both sides go ahead and leverage that information to make the best choices at near real time or real time.
And on the AWS side, these are the key services. There's more services involved. I don't want to shortchange anybody here, but these are kind of the key services that are involved in that offering. So on the one, obviously there you have the AWS media services. Go to the booth, can learn a lot about those obviously here as well. From live streaming to VOD to like transcoding and so forth. The Amazon CloudFront Global CDN network. Amazon Personalize, already mentioned, lots of personalization in there. It's a machine learning service that's specifically tailored for the media industry to do personalizations. SageMaker, so there are other models, other machine learning models as part of this offering that are specifically bespoke models that are built to power these kind of offerings. And then Amazon Connect, which is like connected to the service experience. Also want to mention that as we kind of built that streaming platform, we have a lot of partners that are part of this experience, from the player to Nomad, Max, so like partners who are like helping, with various elements, best of breed delivering of certain capabilities of that streaming platform underneath. As we're talking here, it covers a broad set of functionality, okay? So that's kind of what enables this. And this is actually a really important slide because we have a test afterwards and you need to redraw that slide. I'm not gonna go into too many details here. The point really is, if you wanna learn more about how the integration actually works, we have experts at the booth. They're gonna walk you through. The key thing is really, again, you can follow here the various stages of the consumer journey that I outlined before. And there you see where the data goes, how it's integrated, and which services are invoked by which activities, okay? So again, not going into the details here. I spare that, but we have, I don't know how many days is NAB this year. It's like 4 days to walk you through any details of that, okay? But I still wanted to show you that there is actually real integration going on, okay? So, slowly wrapping this up. So what are the benefits? I mean, obviously, key thing is the improved revenue growth, as we talked about, finding new audiences, retaining audiences, building innovative experiences, really growing the revenue there. Very interlinked, obviously, with the subscriber growth and retention, right? I mean, it's not just like growing them anymore, as we all were painfully aware of the last couple of days, it's a lot of attention also on keeping these subscribers. This integrated service can really help you achieve that. Accelerated innovation. We did a lot of the plumbing, we did a lot of the integration, and we have a lot of like world-class services that the capabilities you can use to build new, really interesting, innovative experiences, and you don't need to build them from scratch, okay? And then the lower TCO, because we already did a lot of the thinking and a lot of the pre-integration, a lot of the development here to kind of accelerate your time to market with an offering like that. So that obviously should lower the total cost of ownership. Go ahead.
So I want to highlight that the screen that Chris was showing with all of that architecture is really very modular. So we've designed an end-to-end solution, but it needs to work with existing infrastructure as well too. So just want to keep that in mind, that this isn't you have to have every single piece here, that you can actually use your given infrastructure with certain elements to get that solution. Now, when we're talking with customers, we see, 2 to 3 flavors. Augment and scale really are kind of combined, but we see new customers that want to bring some form of a streaming service out there. And this could be a B2C or B2B service. So they want to go ahead and have an end-to-end solution, which manages everything from customer acquisition to the underlying plumbing behind the scenes, the streaming itself, the managing it. So you see SVOD and AVOD subscription services, and you're seeing new services like live sales, elements like that come into play. And we find a lot of that in there where they're looking for a solution, and this is something that can actually solve that for them. On the other end, we have existing customers that for whatever reason want to augment what they have. They say, listen, we don't have a great way to match what customers are doing. And can you help us with churn reduction? Can you help us with personalization? How do you do that? And what can you do to help us with that? And there are elements here on both sides that can help you with that. And then scaling. We have customers that say, look, we have infrastructure, we have reliability issues, we have scale issues, and then obviously AWS, best of breed, Netflix runs behind the scenes behind it. So very, very deep abilities to scale automatically and to grow your infrastructure as your subscriber base grows.
So briefly, there is, this is how we would approach a project. We would do a discovery workshop, really understanding your needs. There's few out there that have a complete greenfield situation. So we would analyze what you already have, then build a design that's like tailored for you. And then obviously there's an implementation from getting the service from the kind of offering that we have right now to like exactly what you need. So this is how you would approach it. And obviously more than happy to talk into more details about that as well. And I have, do we even go through the demo? Shall we? Yeah. So we, first, if you wanna, let's go through the demo first. So we're going through a more detailed demo now.
Now we've chosen to structure this as an OTT service where you get movies, TV shows, and live events. But this can be customized for lifestyle brands so that they can sell cooking shows, gym classes, as well as host music sessions. Everything that you see is customizable and modular and is intended to be integrated with your existing applications. I like the content that I see on Peach Plus TV and I register for the service. In addition to the credentials, we also capture user preferences that are further used as a data point for marketing automation campaigns as well as personalization and recommendation. After I registered for the service, I received an email from Peach Plus TV asking me to check out the movie 88 Minutes. This email was powered by Salesforce Marketing Cloud and its next best action capabilities to recommend content based on my initial preferences. On the movie details page, I see information regarding the movie as well as recommendations that are similar to the content I'm about to watch. These recommendations are powered by AWS Personalize, a managed service for generating user and content recommendations. I noticed that the movie is part of a subscription, and this is where the integration between AWS and Salesforce comes into play. Salesforce Media Cloud provides the flexibility to manage subscriptions, upsell options, as well as payment and billing details. As I click on the subscribe button, I'm taken to Salesforce Media Cloud, where I'm shown a list of packages that have been configured for Peach Plus TV. I'm also asked to confirm my credit card details as well as any upsell options that I would have selected. This transaction is now available on Salesforce Media Cloud's self-care portal, where users can manage their credit card information, update their subscriptions, and view past history purchases. After the payment has been processed, entitlements are created on AWS, and I can now watch my movie. Live events can also be published, hosted, and managed through this offering. For example, there is a hockey match that's available that's being sold for $99 for virtual viewing. Recommendations are also shown for similar events that I may be interested in based on my preferences. Purchases for the live event are done through Salesforce Media Cloud, which supports one-time transactions in addition to subscription workflows that we saw earlier. Clicking on the purchase button takes me to Salesforce Media Cloud to do a purchase for the live event. What's unique about this live event is that viewers can watch the game using multiple camera angles. This feature is enabled through AWS Media Services, CloudFront, as well as a partner video player called NextPlayer. Viewers can also interact with each other through a chat interface that is moderated for profanity. The offering also comes with a full text search capability along with the ability to drill down by various facets that are available in the catalog. And lastly, foundational to any direct-to-consumer service offering is a customer data platform which collects interaction data from users. Whether it be purchase history, browsing patterns, or video metrics, this creates a 360 view of a customer to help with marketing automation, provide relevant advertising, or manage subscriber churn through retention offers. This joint offering can leverage a CDP from Salesforce, AWS, or its partners. This customer data is then used to drive recommendations like you see on the screen, as well as define the categories of carousels that would be most relevant for the user, providing a truly personalized and engaging experience. This concludes our walkthrough, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any further questions. Thank you.
So thanks for that. And you're already at the AWS booth, so you found your way. Congratulations. So we have the offer and the demo that we just showed back there. You can see it. We walk you through. More than happy to. And there is going to be another talk around this theme at the Innovation Theater on Tuesday at 1 p.m. if you want to learn more about like what we're doing together with Salesforce. That was it. Thank you so much for your time.